Yes. Well, thank you, Crystal, and thank you to American Heritage Credit Union for their partnership and their trust. And I hope that this will continue for many years to come. So, welcome
Absolutely.
everyone to today's presentation. Just to let you know that there are several handouts that goes with this class, and Crystal will be sending those. So after the webinar is over, you will be receiving those along with the recording of the program, and more information that Crystal will share at the end of the class. So do not worry. All the information that is part of this class, you will be receiving it. So you're able to review it. Beginning my financial journey, priorities, setting goals, income, and expenses. My name is Beatrice Mauersberg. I am a financial wellness educator with Money Management International. So, who is Money Management International? We are a national full service nonprofit financial education and counseling organization. We are under the National Foundation for Credit Counseling. We're also certified by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD. So we're able to provide budget and credit counseling, which is free of charge, available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Under housing, all type of counseling related with housing, pre-purchase, post-purchase, pre-rental, post-rental, foreclosure prevention, eviction prevention, Fair Housing Act, and we also offer the home buyer workshops. Other program and services that we provide, we also do the debt management programs. We also have a new program that's called DRP, and that is a debt resolution program. We also provide bankruptcy counseling and education, student loan counseling, credit report reviews, and post disaster recovery counseling. Under the education area, and that is where I am, our mission is to provide financial stability through education, giving you resources and knowledge about how to handle your finances. We also have under the education, we have a free online learning program available to everyone. At the end of the presentation, you will see the slide with our phone number, website, and the link, so you're able to take advantage of the free online learning program. So with that, we'll go ahead and start the session. So these are the objective for today's session. I'm going to be exploring the difference between wants and needs and the importance of setting financial goals. I also will talk about priorities, how to set priorities, and give you some strategies so you're able to have saving goals. I will also, we are going to be building a budget or in a spending plan. So I will be giving you a definition of gross and net income. I'm also going to show you the different parts of the budget and when it comes to your spending. And I also going to show you some ways that you're able to track your expenses. And at the very last, I'm going to give you some strategies so you're able to manage all your monthly obligations. So again, a reminder, there is a lot of information I'm going to be covering here today, but you will be receiving all the handouts that goes with this class. All right, so let's talk about personal goals um, and how important they are. Again, personal. So those are unique for yourself. They are not your brother or sister or your friends. They are your own personal goals. So let's give you a scenario. So when you decide that you are going to start a workout plan, what do you need to do to get ready? Okay. Well, maybe you will see if you have the right workout clothing. You also probably need to plan your workout if you're going to do it indoors or if you're going to do it outdoors. Are you going to be able to do it in a group session or individual session? You also need to evaluate yourself about determining your pace, how quick, how fast are you going to be able to do it? Um, do you have the right equipment? Okay, are you going to lift weight or are you just going to run or are you going to use the bike? So when you are thinking about doing a workout, project, um, there are things that you need to get ready, but you need to prepare yourself so you're able ultimately to achieve that workout plan that you wanted to do. So, with this, it is very important to look at all the things uh, that you need to do, that you need to prepare uh, to be able to achieve that goal of your workout plan. And all of this is very, very important, preparation. But one of the main things that we need to really know is where are we going? Where are you going by doing a workout plan? What are you trying to achieve by starting a workout plan? Okay. Your main goal is probably to reach a certain destination. If you're going to run, how many miles, because you're going to be participating in a marathon or in a special 5 or 10K. If you think about weight, how much are you going to be able, or how much is your ultimate goal to lift? If you are going to do running, how many miles? So those are things that you want to achieve depending of the workout plan that you're trying to get. So where is it that you want to achieve? What is the final destination? So the same idea that I was just giving you those example apply to financial goals. Okay, the same idea, it just applied to financial goals. You need to know what you are working towards before you can decide to get there. Okay, some examples maybe your goal is to be debt free, maybe your goal is to be a homeowner, maybe you need to buy a car, or maybe you just need to build up your emergency savings, or maybe your goal is to do a special celebration, or maybe take a vacation, take a vacation to a destination that is always being in your bucket list. So those are things, those are financial goals. What is it that we want to do? What is it that we want to achieve? Okay. So it is very important to know that these goals are personal. Okay. They are personal. So those are your own personal goals. um, Advertisers can impact our needs and wants. It also can impact our financial goals. More and more, it seems that advertising are popping up everywhere. Okay. We see it through our social media, if we're looking at our cell phone, if we're looking at the TV, if we are looking at our internet, the radio, billboards. There just seems to ads are just popping up everywhere 24 hours a day. How do you think advertisers impact wants and needs of the consumer? Well, let me show you. We all can determine our wants and needs. and setting goals with good intention. But advertisers study the psychological aspect of purchasing. They are very good at designing ads to appeal to the consumer and create a false sense of need. And this is everywhere, everywhere. So let me give you some common advertising tactics. We have one called the bandwagon. The bandwagon. This is the idea that everyone is doing it. And if you don't want to be left out, then you need it to do too. You need to do that. You need to do that also. Um, and examples of these products that they are trying to sell and they are advertising are cell phones, electronics, clothing line, cars, vehicles. So those are some of the items that are usually advertised under the bandwagon. There is also the celebrity. The celebrity is where a famous sport figure or movie star says that they use the product, that they use the product. So if they use it, then it must be great. Okay. Advertisers pay this celebrity a large amount of money to endorse the product. But it is important to know that many celebrities don't necessarily use the product themselves. Um, example of this product or example of product that they're trying to sell is makeup, maybe some type of energy drinks, sports equipment, sometimes some vehicles. So that is most of the products that they are being advertised under the celebrity area. Another one is we are the best. We are the best. This ad wants you to think that they are better than every other brand. However, they never said or they never explain in detail why they are the best or prove that they are the best. Okay. Most of the company, most of the products use this tactic. We are the best. Okay, especially on exercise equipment, vehicles, some energy products or medicines, things like that. And then the last one is image. Image is everything. This type of advertising wants you to think that if you buy the product, you will be more attractive and everyone will like you. Okay. And a lot of products are advertised this way. Okay, so very important. Next time you go to the grocery store or next time you go to the shopping area, the mall area, the mall center in your area, look at how are they advertising? How are they bringing customers to buy their products? All right, so let's talk about wants and needs. Okay, wants and needs. Wants versus needs. Okay, so what is a need? Excuse me. A need, excuse me, I'm so sorry. A need are the basic things that we as a consumers must have to survive. Okay, a need is food, clothing, roof, housing, uh, transportation, uh, medications. So those are needs. Those are things that they are basic necessities that consumers need to have to be able to survive. Now, what is a want? A want is something that is nice to have, but it's not a necessity. Some examples of this could be a car, it could be a new dress, a new pair of shoes, And sometimes it could be food, and sometimes can be shelter, depending on how we look at it. Okay. For example, a car can be a necessity. Transportation can be a necessity, but sometimes it can really turn into a want. If it's something that we are buying that is too expensive for our budget. Okay. Um, Food is also can be become a want if we have food, if we have groceries at the house, but then we decided to go to a very expensive restaurant or to eat out every day. It can become a want. Okay. So if we have enough food at home and we eat every day out, then it can become and then the same thing for a vehicle can become a want. And there's so many things like that. Like, for example, clothing. Clothing is a need, but it can become a want if we are overbuying, if we are just buying more than what our budget can afford. Okay, so it is very important that when assessing your own personal needs and wants, there is often no right or wrong answer. Needs and wants are personal, okay, and situational. A want for one person could be a need for someone else. It is ultimately up to each of us to assess our own unique situation. We need to really assess the situation carefully, okay? And because the main priority is to really decide what is it that it is important to us, what is a priority, what is a need, and not a want, especially when we're making choices, very personal. I invite all of you to take a moment to think about your top three wants and needs. If you want to share those, you can write them under the chat area, and then we'll be able to see them at the end of the presentation. But it is up to you. Just think about your top three needs and wants. All right, so let's talk about goal setting. So to get things you want and need, it is necessary to set goals. Typically, a short-term goal is something that you're able to accomplish within the next 2 years. By taking this class, by writing your own personal goals, you're already starting part of those, part of your road to your goal setting. Mid-range goals, those are goals that can be accomplished within 2 and 5 years. Maybe getting out of debt, maybe saving for a down payment of a house or a down payment for a vehicle, or maybe taking a vacation or building your emergency savings. And long-term goals are goals that they're going to take more than 5 years, more than 15 and 10, more than 5, 10, 15, 20 years to accomplish. Usually, this is when we are looking at our retirement age, or maybe in a special celebration, or something that it will take some years, okay, to save for. The wants and needs that you maybe have identified could be your goals. Okay, those could be your goals. The wants and needs that I ask you to identify, this could be your goals. Maybe you want a new car, maybe you want to travel. Think about some other goals that you would like to accomplish. And once you are looking at those goals, look and see of the timeline. Put them on the right timeline, because a lot of people sometimes they kind of give up on their goals if there's something that is going to take a long time. But it's very important to understand the goals have a timeline. So there are goals, there are some goals that you're able to achieve within the next 2 years, and there's some other goals that may take you longer, and it is okay. Okay, so just understand the timeline of the goals, short-term, mid-range goals, midterm goals, and long-term goals. Let's talk about the smart way, okay? An undefined goal may never become a reality, okay? So goals have to be reachable, okay? They need to be clear. They need to be smart, okay? Once again, all this information, you are going to be receiving it in your handout, so you're able to review the information that you are gathering here, okay? So goals need to be clear and smart, okay? So what is SMART stand for, okay? SMART is the acronym that stands for is specific, okay? Is specific, so your goals have to be specific for you. M stands for measurable, okay? Attainable is the next letter, A. They have to be realistic. They have to be realistic. And the last one is the T, time sensitive, okay? Time sensitive. So just follow that smart way. All right, so let's look at a goal map, okay? This exercise, this handout, you also are going to be receiving it. So try to do one goal, one personal goal, and do the exercise, okay? So this is what we call a goal map. So what is it that you want to achieve? What is it that you want to achieve? One is specific financial goal. So that's a step number one. How much money are you going to be needing? Okay, how much money are you going to be needing? Are you trying to go to a vacation? Are you trying to be debt free? Are you trying to uh, uh, save for an emergency? What are you trying to do? We have an example in here of a young lady in the next slide, that the young lady wants to move. Okay, she has completed college, she's ready to be on her own, and she's ready to move. So we're gonna follow up that example in just a second. So how much money are you going to be needing? Step number 3, when will the goal be achieved? Okay, what is the target date? Is this a short-term goal? Is this a mid-term goal? Or this is a long-term goal? Okay, and step number 4 is what needs to be done. What changes, what things you need to be doing and able to achieve that goal. Okay, so in this case, how much you're willing to or you're capable to save every month to achieve your goal. Okay, so let's take a look at this example. So this is the young lady. Her name is Joanne, and so Joanne goal statement is to move into an apartment. Okay, that's what she wants to do. It says that she is going to be moving with other 2 roommates. So they're going to be splitting the rent nowadays, so it's important. So in this example, her goal is to move within the next 6 months. And she's going to be needing $600 for deposit. Okay, for deposit. So this is a big house, and I think there are 4 ladies with her that they're going to be moving in. So she needs to save $600 for a deposit. Okay, um, so and she has made a definition of what she wants to achieve and how much it will cost her and how long it will take her, because she puts her time. She said in 6 months. So determining what type of goal they have and the timeline required allows a person to establish how much money needs to be set aside to achieve the goal within a time frame. So when determining goals, it may be necessary to give up something now to have something better in the future. And this is very, very important. Once again, looking at your budget, looking at where the money is going, and we're going to be looking at that in just a few minutes. So an example again, amount of money needed divided in how many months. If the number of months may be too short, then it may be extended, and then that's equal of the amount needed to save every month. So here's her example. So she needs to save $100. She needs to find those $100 in her budget. If she extended it because it's too much, then she can extend it to 12 months. So she's going to be needing $50. She knows it's $600. So it's all depending when she's going to be able to achieve that goal, if she's going to be able to do it in 6 months or 12 months. Okay, so one of the main things is we need to look at our earning statements. How much money is coming in into our household? How much money are we earning on a monthly basis? So in this case, this young lady has to look at their income statement, at their earnings statement, okay? And that way, she's able to follow the budget, to be able to know where her money is being spent. So it is important to look at our earnings statement. And here, as you can see, it shows the gross amount. The gross amount is the income that you get paid hourly or you get paid by salary. It is important, and this is an advice that I always give to my participants, is once in a while, you must look at your earnings statement just to make sure that your deductions are correct. I always hear stories on my classes and says, well, I didn't know that they were deducting this amount. It was supposed to have been this other amount. Or if you apply for any type of health insurance, are you paying the right amount? Are you saving? If you already set up in your payroll to have some money set aside, are you saving enough money? So it is very important to make sure that your earning statements are correct. And then your net payment. And make sure that if you are hourly, make sure that you're getting paid the right amount. Did you work 40 hours? Did you work overtime? Very important. So remember, gross is before any deductions. Net is the amount that we're bringing home. So are we getting paid weekly, or are we getting paid bi-weekly, or are we getting paid twice a month, or are we getting paid once a month? Okay, so very important to calculate how much money is coming in. And remember, some of us may have extra net pay coming in. You may have an extra part-time job, or you may be getting alimony or child support or any other type of income. So it's very important to calculate all your net income. This is an example of an expense tracker. I have included in the handout one that is my favorite. It is called Daily Tracking of Expenses, and it's for an entire month, So in order to develop a successful budget, it is necessary to know where the money is being spent. It is necessary to track daily expenses to see where are you spending it, how much are you spending it, what are some of the things that you can maybe do not spend, or maybe save some money when you're spending it. You will be surprised when you do a daily tracking for an entire month, just to see how much you're spending on small items, and you might be able to look for alternative rather than spending it that often. And also, you're able to see with your own eyes um, what are the expenses, and you might be able to identify some expenses that you did not have in your budget. Okay. You're able to track it. The handout is is very good, but there's some other ways that you may be able to track your expenses. You may be able to use your phone. You might be able to keep your receipts. So when you get home, you're able to write them down. Uh, you can also organize all your receive by an envelope. So, and there might be some apps up there that allows you. Maybe your bank may have one already. So the main thing is to track. Okay, so let's look at the examples in here. So this is Joanne, and Joanne did a tracking for 1 week. Okay, so this is a 1 week. So here's an example. Her total expenses run up to, I believe it's like $10.95. And these are all small purchases, all small purchases. So this is her weekly average just for unexpected expenses. Okay. So this is just an example of how small expenses can add up quickly, and they are often overlooked in our budget. So again, tracking your expenses is one way that it can help you ensure that your budget is accurate. Okay. So if she finds this, and these are the money that she's spending, one way to save money in coffee is maybe making it at home and taking it with her to work. She's buying a snack at the snack machine at work, or whatever. She may be able to buy in bulks and take her snacks with her. She might be able to see where she's able to find light bulbs cheaper. Bottled water. This was a little bit cheap for $1. I know. I think I seen it at the grocery store for $1.50. But a lot of times you can buy a case of 24 or 40 for up to maybe $3.99, $4. So it is not how much money we are earning, is how much we spend it, how we are spending it. Okay, it's not how much money we are earning, it's how we're spending it, how we're able to save money, looking for alternative to save money. Okay, so let's look at the monthly spending plan. So this is also another handout that you will be receiving. So you already have some of your goals in mind. So now it is time to create your monthly spending plan, your budget, okay? Because having a budget is going to support you so you're able to achieve your financial goals. All right. So the first thing that you're going to do when you look at your budget, it is you're going to write your monthly net income. So you already have calculated by looking at your earning statements. Remember, it's so important to calculate if you get paid bi-weekly or weekly or twice a month or once a month. Then you are going to write down your expenses. Expenses fall in three categories. The first expenses are going to be your fixed expenses. And fixed expenses are the expenses that are typically the same amount every month. The same amount every month. Example will be your rent or your mortgage payment, your car payments, savings, also any personal loan that you may be paying, insurance, Another one could be your daycare. So the same amount every month, maybe a utility service, maybe a cable, maybe internet, maybe your cell phone, same amount every month. Those are categorized as fixed expenses. Then you are going to write down your variable expenses, and your variable expenses are the ones that happen every month, but the amount that we spend and then varies from month to month. So for here, for this type of expense, you need to find the average. What is the average amount that you need to have every month to be able to cover that expense? Okay, so make sure that you average, so you're able to get your highest bill that you pay in the last 12 months and add it to your lower bill on the same area. Let's see electricity. You take your highest bill on electricity and you take your lowest bill in the last 12 months of electricity. You add them up and then you're going to divide them in two. That's going to give you the average. So if your bill comes less of what you have, then you need to put that money set aside. Whatever money is left needs to be left there because that money belongs to that bill. So you'll have reserve. Okay. So very, very important to really look at all your variable expenses and being able to find your average for each expense. The last expense are going to be your periodic expenses. And your periodic expenses are those that happen once a year, twice a year, 4 times a year, 6 times a year. So for example, you have your holidays and celebrations, you have your back to school, which is happening right now, you have your clothing, you have your health and beauty supplies, you have your cleaning supplies, you have your visit to the doctor, you have your contacts, your glasses. If you have a pet, your vacation, your children summer activities, or maybe if they play a sport. Um, so it is important to look at all those expenses and being able to identify a yearly amount. What is the yearly amount that you are budgeting for that specific expense? And then you're going to divide it in 12. Because that is going to give you a way to save every month toward that bill. Remember your car maintenance, your oil changes, etc. Everything. So it is very important to have a very good picture of where your money is going. So here is an example of the young lady that we've been following, Joanne. She has all her total income and she put down all her expenses. And it seems to me that she has a deficit. She has a deficit of 75. So she needs to adjust so her budget can balance. And this is something that we need to do every month. We need to look at our budget every month and to be able to see we're going to take income, subtract all the expenses, and we need to have either a positive number, which means we are okay, and make sure that you don't forget to add anything on your budget. But if it's a negative number, indicates that we are in a deficit, that we are expending more of what we are earning. So we cannot be in red every month. So, and here she's able to put the amounts under that column, and she was able to see by identifying every expense. So you need to look at every expense. Is this a need? Is this a want? Is this an expense that I can control, or is this an expense that I cannot control? Okay, so she was able to see in some areas as some of the expenses that she is able to control to make sure that her budget balance the right way. So this is very important to do. This is very, very important to do. So you can see the examples. She might be able to spend less on maybe clothing, or she may be able to save a little bit more with food at home. Um, and remember, she needs to add that saving goals in there because her goal is to save money for her deposit to move out. Okay, so let's look at some strategies that is going to help you track expenses and to make sure that the bills are being paid on time, especially all the priority bills. One of this is what we call the envelope method. And this is one way to manage cash flow. Okay, cash flow. So with this strategy, what you need to do is designate an envelope for each expense and write the amount and due date on the outside. So when you get paid, you may be able to place the money needed for each expense in the corresponding envelope to ensure that you will have the money available when the expense comes due. But having cash around sometimes is not the good thing because we may spend it or it may not be safe. So one of the suggestions that we do is that you can label the envelopes and you know that the money is already in your checking account. You know you have that money already saved. So you can track in that envelope, okay, this is for rent, this is for my car payment, this is for food. So it is very important. So unless you're putting money at cash, just make sure that you keep the money in a safe place. Another thing that you need to do is after you're making the purchase or paying, then you may be able to put the receipt in the envelope, and that way you know that it was already paid. Uh, so very important. So that is what we call the envelope method. So here it is. So these are the way. So we have 4 envelopes. So in here, Joanna gets paid weekly. So if you get paid weekly, you have 1 envelope for each expense. So in here, if you know your rent is certain amount, you're gonna divide it in 4 and the times that you're getting paid. So you have the right amount saved. You can write it down on the outside. So you know that you have it saved in your bank account. Food, insurance, gasoline, clothing. So you need to really do a follow-up. You need to have a tracking system of how much money you're going to be needing, how much money you're saving. So when the end of the month comes, everything is okay. So you're able to pay your priorities. So that's one way, one strategy to help you track your expenses and making sure that you have the right amount to cover that expense. This is what we call another strategy is what we call the calendar method. And this is where you use a calendar to plan and track expenses. And so in here, you're able to write when are you getting paid and when are your bills due. Okay. Excuse me. When are your bills due? And that way it reminds you, okay, I have this bill due on the 13th. I have to pay this. The rent needs to be paid. And then it also that way you're also saving. You're writing down how much you're saving. A calendar method, it's a reminder. So we don't forget when the bills are due. So we are protecting ourselves of paying late fees. So we have a big calendar, you can have a wall calendar, you can have a desk calendar. So in that way, you're always reviewing, okay, I get paid on Friday, then I'm going to be able, with that money, I'm going to be covering this and this bill. This bill is due this day, so you will not forget. Believe me, when we pay late, those late payments, those late fees can add up. And that's money that you can be saving. That's money that you can be putting aside. Okay. So it's making sure that every expense every expense is paid for, that you have everything in order. Okay. And then also will help you to stay on track, and making sure that that you're not overexpending, and if you need to make adjustments in your budget, then you're able to do so. Okay. All right. So I have also included a copy of a calendar in your handout. So I have included several handouts that you are going to be able to put them in good use for all of this. Now, considering other expenses, okay, so so it is important that when we're trying to reach our goals, that we also consider other expenses, okay? We talk about the workout, okay? We mentioned that in the very beginning, okay? My goal is to do a workout program, all right? So what other expenses come with that? Well, do I have the right running shoes? Do I have the right clothing? Okay, so just thinking about that. If your goal is to save because you need a down payment for a vehicle, okay, what other expenses? Okay, it's not only the down payment for a vehicle, but also how much my insurance is going to be, if it's going to increase or decrease. If my goal is to go on a vacation, what other expenses besides that vacation? Do I need to buy the flight? Do I need to drive where I'm going? The hotel, things like that. So always take in consideration all the other expenses that it comes with that. So, and here, this young person, this is Joanna, wants to move. So her goal is to, she's saving for a down payment, for her deposit, right? For her deposit to move in. So she needs to really know what other expenses. Okay. So is she going to be able to cover her entire rent? Uh, what about utilities? Are the utilities included or are they extra? Another thing is that she has all the furniture that she needs, or some other her roommates will be bringing. If someone is going to help her move, what does she need? So other renters insurance also, that's another expense. Utility connections and things like that. So it's not just the deposit; it's also looking at other expenses that comes with that goal. Okay. All right. So, so lots of good things that I have covered here today. Uh, I have um, I have covered great information. Specifically, I show you wants and needs, the importance of you setting up your financial goals. I help you identify priorities and how to create saving goals. I also show you an earning statement where it shows your gross and your net, and how to track your expenses. Okay, how to track your expenses. Remember, lots of information. You're going to be receiving all the handouts, so you're able to put in practice all the information. Okay, so just to make a reminder, this young person not only is going to be needing to save for her deposit, but also needs to look at the budget again to be able to save money for all those extra expenses that she needs to cover. All right. Okay, so today's presentation is designed for educational purposes only and should not be construed as an investment, tax, or legal advice. So if you do need any of those, please consult a professional. So here is our website, moneymanagement.org. There is the phone number for the agency, but we have a great program because we have a great relationship with the credit union We have a dedicated phone number for all the American Heritage Credit Union members and non-members. This number is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Our counselors are certified by the National Foundation for Credit Counseling, so it is free of charge, and it is confidential. And also there, you're able to see our free online learning program, learn.mmiuniversity.org. So all this information will also be in your handout. So take a picture, have it handy, and lots of resources that we're giving you here today so you're able to achieve your financial goals.